In the center of the page, you're going to see a blue button and a green button. And there they are. The blue button is to file or reopen your unemployment claim. If you're starting the unemployment process, you would need to go there. This button will take you to a new section of our vendor, Salesforce. This path will begin the process for filing unemployment benefits, as well as reactivating your most recently filed unemployment claim. And we're just taking you there right now so you can see where we are and what options we have on that page. So at the bottom you can see there, am I eligible? And the green button that says apply for benefits. Once you click on the apply for benefits page, it'll take you to a whole bunch of questions that you need to go through and answer truthfully. We continue to process unemployment claims on a daily basis. It is important to remember that once you have finished your part of claim process, you will receive an email stating your claim has been submitted, which is now pending completion by staff, and then one for processed, an email that says processed once the claim has been fully completed. There are also emails when additional information may be needed, such as employer verification of separation, possibility of a hearing, or you're in receipt of a pension, just to give a few examples. And here's the important part about this. We can't stress this enough. Check your emails. Emails will be sent to your inbox at the email that you provided to us. But it also may end up in your spam or junk folder based on your email settings that you already have. Even more important, and as I said earlier, that you have your correct email on file with us. So now we're going to talk about the green button and the path which that leads. It also has helpful options for filing your weekly claim and managing your unemployment claim. This is also the area you would go to select or change your payment option, direct deposit or debit card. You can also view your payment history here as well. Another helpful hint and tip that we could give you today is that it's important to know that the quickest way to get paid once your claim has been processed is to select direct deposit. We recommend you select direct deposit for your payment option. If you choose not to, if you don't make a selection, it will automatically go to a debit card, but the debit card is taking a while to process. So our recommendation is that you use direct deposit. At the bottom of the File CTUI page, it also has various quick click topics, such as missed filing a weekly claim, you want to make an address change, or that you're returning to work and you want to notify us. Please visit these areas as they may be able to answer your questions and concerns. We are receiving a lot of emails through many different avenues that are available within the Department of Labor. A lot of people are sending emails that may not be related to those particular email boxes. So our recommendation is that you come back here and you take a look at, you think about what questions you have and if we can answer them for you. If you don't see the answers here on the quick clicks, we're going to take you over now to the front page of our Department of Labor webpage, which has our frequently asked questions. On the front page of the Department of Labor's website, center of the front page in blue and red, it says FAQ about coronavirus COVID-19 for workers and employers. Within there, if we can click onto that and go into the questions, you'll see a table of contents that will list what we cover in this particular area. As you can see, those areas include filing questions. I have questions about an overpayment. I'm an employer and I have some questions, paid sick leave, and so forth. This is a very informative page, and it's updated on a daily basis. Again, we recommend, as another helpful hint, is that, or helpful tip, is that you visit this page on a daily basis to see the updates and to see if we can answer any questions you might have. A little bit lower on in the frequently asked questions is a link for Federal Unemployment Insurance Stimulus Program. And once we go there, I'm going to review a couple of the additional payments or programs that the CARES Act provides. In no particular order, and you can see what's on the page right there, we're going to discuss three of them. First one is Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA. This provides benefits to covered individuals who are not eligible for regular unemployment compensation or extended benefits under state or federal law, or pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, including those who have exhausted all rights to previous benefits, to such benefits, which include unemployment and the extension. These benefits, this program is in the process of being reviewed, and that once it becomes active, that information will be posted on this site as well. These benefits will be retroactive for all eligible claims who are covered under this particular program. And as you go through that, it does list who may be eligible for that particular program. The next one I'm going to discuss is what a lot of people have been asking about, is the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation, or FPUC. It is an emergency increase in unemployment compensation benefits, and it provides an additional $600 per week for eligible claimants, and it will be paid retroactively. The first eligible week that is payable will be the week ending April 4th. For unemployment purposes, our weekly payments are Saturday dates. So the first eligible week for this $600 will be for the week ending April 4th. This program is in the process of being reviewed as well, and we're hoping, as the governor and the commissioner had said recently, we hope to have that payment processed very shortly, hopefully in the next week or so. The third one I'm going to cover today is, and I kind of touched on the subject a little earlier, it's called Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation. This will extend what is normally a 26-week regular unemployment program, which is standard in Connecticut if you're collecting full benefits. And it's going to add an additional 13 weeks on top of that, so a total of 39 weeks of unemployment, 26 of regular unemployment, and an additional 13 weeks after that. And in order to be eligible for that, you have exhausted all rights to the UI or unemployment insurance under our state or federal law. You must be able to work, available for work, and at this time the commissioner has temporarily waived the work search requirement for this particular program while we are still under COVID-19. So those are the three stimulus packages that we're going to talk about today that were signed by the President in the CARES Act. The Department of Labor is currently working on all three programs. Again, the FPUC or FPUC payments, the additional $600 is the one they're working on currently, and that they're hoping to be able to administer that program shortly. That's going to lead me to some questions that we had received from people, and I'm going to go over a few of them. First one is and we're getting a lot of people asking about the $600 federal payment. And again, I may be repeating myself here, but it's important to know because it is one of our more popular emails and questions. We are currently in the testing phase and hope to make these payments shortly. Again, the first week eligible for this payment is going to be for the week ending April 4th. Payments will be made retroactively starting with the April 4th payment. But once this program goes live and you're entitled to this payment, you may see that you were paid for the most current week of the stimulus payment. Shortly thereafter, once that first payment goes out, the Department of Labor will retroactively pay any previous weeks that you may have, starting with the week ending April 4th. Another one of the questions we've received was, I just ran out of my 26 weeks UI benefits. How do I get my additional 13 weeks under the CARES program? It's called Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, PEUC. Again, that's a 13-week program that follows the exhaustion or once your balance on your current unemployment claim goes to zero. An important thing to understand about this program is that the 13 weeks can be paid, okay, provided that, and there are additional rules that follow this one of which is that you cannot be eligible for unemployment in any other state or any other program in any other state. And so that needs to be determined as well. But for the state of Connecticut, right now, if you have no other eligibility for unemployment in any other state, once this program goes live, you will be entitled to 13 additional weeks of unemployment. The last question I have here is saying that I received an email that said I could start the file on Sunday. When I tried to file, the system would not let me. So I'm going to refer this call to coworker Terry, who's going to be able to answer that question for you.
Hi, this is Terry. I have been receiving many emails in regards to the question that I got an email. I was told to file on Sunday, but I can't. Because our agency does not normally work on a Saturday, any claims that were processed on a Saturday cannot go into the system until on Monday. So once they're in the system on Monday, you would first be eligible and able to file on Tuesday. So even though the email says to file on Sunday, we're trying to work that out. But as of right now, I'm just advising people to try to file their continued claim on Tuesday following that email. Okay.
Thank you, Terry. Sue, do you have additional questions for us?
Hi, this is Sue Fracasso with the Labor Department also. Some of the questions that I've been receiving from individuals include, for example, can you tell me how my weekly unemployment rate is calculated?
Okay, so I could take this one. Once your claim is filed, the claim is effective for the week for which you filed your application. The way a benefit rate is calculated is we look at the effective date, and we take the first 4 of the last 5 completed quarters or calendar quarters. Each quarter is 3 months. So we take the first 4 of the last 5 completed quarters. And what we do is we establish a benefit rate. And the benefit rate is based off of your 2 highest quarters, and we get an average of those 2. Now, the maximum unemployment rate in the state of Connecticut is $649. And, there are people who are filing who would exceed that amount of money, but the maximum in Connecticut is $649. If so entitled, you are also eligible for $15 for a dependent, and there are the requirements for filing for those, and that once those are submitted, they will be reviewed and either approved or not for adding to your claim. You're allowed to add up to 5 dependents on your claim for a total of an additional $75 if you have them.
Okay, Greg, regarding the extra $600 and the extended benefits, the extra 13 weeks, do I need to reapply to get those additional benefits?
For the $600, no. What will happen is it's still in the testing phase, that they don't have to file a new application for benefits, that the program will be administered on top of the current claim that you've already filed. So it'll be a continuation based on the claim that you already have.
So, and this is Caroline with the Labor Department. Just to address Sue's other question on the extra 13 weeks and whether an application was necessary for that. Yes, there will be an application that is needed for that program. That is under development. And the best advice is to keep checking back with our website for information on how to follow that process once it's implemented.
If I'm self-employed, do I have to apply now for unemployment in anticipation that I would qualify for the CARES program, the package under the CARES program that would provide unemployment for me?
Good question, Sue, and that's been in discussion a lot. And our best advice on that is again, and we can't stress this enough, is to refer back to the frequently asked questions. Anytime additional information has been provided to us, our communications department is updating the frequently asked questions with the most recent information. So that is the best advice we could give anybody, is to go to the federal, where Sue just clicked, and go there, and it should be updated once information becomes available.
Okay, one question also, originally on the filectui.com website, and there still is this guide to getting claims processed quicker. Can you explain the difference between a temporary shutdown and what that means for individuals, as well as how the guide has changed? And if I followed the guide that was up previously, that was indicating that I should put a return date in, should I file again using this new guide?
Okay, so I'll take that question, or that couple of questions. The temporary shutdown program is really just kind of a subset of unemployment. And what that means is it's an individual who is temporarily laid off from their job and has a return to work date within 6 weeks. Okay? When you're enrolled in and approved for that program, you do not have to file weekly claims for unemployment. Our system will automatically pay you during that period of shutdown. What's happening today is that we're recognizing that a lot of folks' return to work dates are not realistic. Many people thought they would be returning, say, on April 1st or on April 8th, and that has in fact turned out not to be the case. So what we're doing to make things easier on claimants and not, make them have to contact us again is we're taking down your return to work dates, because we're recognizing that for a lot of you, you're not going back to work on that date you thought you were originally. We're taking your return to work date off of your claim, and we're converting your claim automatically. You don't have to notify us to one in which you would have to file your own weekly claims. This way, you can control when you tell us that you're going back to work, or if in fact you go back to work, you would just stop filing your own weekly claims. That's really what you should do. as far as the guide, the tutorial it's also referred to that's up on the website, you should continue to refer to that. Initially, we thought that putting in those return to work dates would be the most efficient way to try to get this unprecedented level of claims processed. But again, we realized that return to work dates are becoming more and more unrealistic. So we are not advising you to put in a date unless you have a specific date that your employer has given you that you should be returning to work. In that case, you should enter that date. If you don't have a return to work date, please do not enter one.
Sue, I was going to bring up another subject that has been discussed a lot recently. Not only we hear from the public through emails, but we are getting a lot of calls and emails, I should say, and questions about my employer advised me to file for unemployment. However, they are now going to pay me for the weeks that that I had already collected. So on the frequently asked questions page, and I'll wait till we get there so everyone can see this. Down at the bottom, it says cancel the COVID-19 unemployment claim. We're trying to get this out to folks saying, you know, I filed a claim. It says I filed a claim for unemployment because of a temporary shutdown due to COVID-19. However, my employer is going to, well, I won't read the whole thing, but I'd like to cancel my claim for unemployment. So basically, I collected for a period of time. You know, usually these are people who have filed claims in the month of March, and first-time filers. We're getting a lot of these. That my employer told me I could file a claim for unemployment. My claim was processed, and I was paid out for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks of benefits. All of a sudden, my employer says, we can pay you for those back weeks, and you don't need to collect unemployment anymore. What we're trying to advise people to do is to go to this online form, review it, and say, if this applies to me, that I don't need unemployment anymore. My employer's paid me for my back weeks, and I just want to make sure that you're aware of this. The money that was paid out to you is going to need to be paid back to whether you're considered overpaid for those weeks. Our benefit payment control unit is going to process those overpayments and get those out to you as quickly as we can. We know that there's going to be a large number of people that are going to be in this situation, so we ask for your patience. But if you've already responded to us and said that, you know, I'd like to cancel my claim, or if you're hearing this for the first time and you want to cancel your claim, you don't want to collect unemployment at this time, please use this form to notify us. We will go in there and cancel that claim. We will review your payments. If you qualify under this particular scenario, we will notify you by mail of what the overpayment was. Our advice is that if you get the letter, or if you've gotten the money and you get the letter from us, or you got the money, our advice is you can put that money aside or hold it somewhere so that once you get the letter from us, you'll know exactly the amount of money you owe us. We're advising people also is to not send in the money ahead of time, but to wait for the letter to come from us so that you'll know the exact amount of money that you need to return to us. In a lot of cases, people have asked about this, and can I just send it in because I just want to send it back. We're asking for your patience on this so that we can make this a smoother transition. Anything else, Sue, or are we good?
I don't know if anyone on the call could potentially comment on for employers that might be listening in who have submitted shared work applications.
Hi, this is Terry. In regards to shared work, we do have extra people working on this program. So as soon as you submit this, within a week or two, you should be looking for a packet coming to the business. You need to complete the documents. Each week you must send in a certification of the employees that are on shared work and their percents. And you want to get that back as soon as possible. It is going faster at this time, so you should hear a response within, I would say, 2 weeks.
And again, first of all, and Sue, obviously, if there's more questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them. But for our first webinar, we'd like to thank everybody that, put an effort into getting this out to all of you who are currently listening. We're going to try to do this town hall or webinar on a weekly basis and covering different topics. Hopefully we were able to answer your questions. We understand, your concern, and we appreciate your patience as far as everything that's going on. It is an unprecedented level of unemployment claims that have come to the agency, and the staff and all of us are working our hardest in order to get those claims processed and to answer any questions that you may have. So again, we appreciate your patience. Again, as we said earlier, please visit the Department of Labor's website, filectui.com. Look at the frequently asked questions, familiarize yourself with them, and please come back and review the questions because they are updated once new information becomes available.
Greg, if I worked in another state, how does that work?
If you worked in another state, you would, if you have no work history in the state of Connecticut, and you're living in Connecticut and may have worked in Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, just as examples, you would, in these cases, probably go to the Department of Labor website in those particular states. And as we've seen by just reviewing some of those websites, that there is information on how to file a claim against those states. You would be entitled to file against those states, but you would be, your application would be reviewed based off of their state laws and statutes. And in some cases, you may have wages that covers both states, which they call a combined wage claim. So for instance, if you worked in Connecticut and you also have wages in a neighboring state, another state, maybe you just moved here, you can file a claim with us, which is called a combined wage claim. We will request those wages from the other state or states to establish your benefit rate. But yes, if you've worked in Connecticut and you also have wages within the base period scenario that I described earlier, you would be eligible to use those wages as well to establish a benefit rate.
Again, another question as far as potential overpayment. On the previous guide that was on the website, it indicated that I should indicate that I had just one employer, but I didn't. I have a part-time job that I'm continuing to work at, and I think I was potentially overpaid because I continued to work at that part-time job, but I was paid some automatic payments by the system. Can you address that, please?
I can. If we are getting situations like that where those payments did go out, however, we understand people are still working part-time jobs. If you go again to the frequently asked questions and you go to the overpayment assistance, I believe that is on the File CT UI page. And so if you could scroll down a little bit for, I think it is going to give you a link on here. Right up top, Sue, go up a little bit. There's a link that that will take you to overpayment assistance, and if you scroll down just a little bit, Sue, there are check boxes as well as a text box that allows you to explain the situation that you're in. Please review the page and see what applies to you. So if you were paid and a full benefit, and you know that you worked and received pay, I would like to report an overpayment of unemployment benefits I received, and click that box, and you could fill in the text box with your information. And that information should include the employer's name, the number of hours that you worked, and the gross earnings before taxes were taken out, the gross earnings that you earned for the particular week. Again, our work week, our payment week goes from Sunday to Saturday. So it's during a particular week. So you're saying for the weekend ending April 4th, I worked for ABC Company. I worked 10 hours and I made $100. That is the kind of information that we're going to need in order to review and process that overpayment. You will get a letter in the mail explaining what the overpayment is, and that would be sent out to you shortly after we conduct the audit.
If I do have a part-time job, how much do I get on unemployment?
So once we receive, if you're filing each week and you report your part-time wages, we take 2/3 of the gross amount of your part-time earnings and we deduct that from your weekly benefit rate. So, for instance, if you're making $120 in a part-time job, we would take $80 away from your unemployment payment. If the amount of money that you earn for a particular week exceeds what your weekly benefit rate is, you won't get any payment for that week. That includes, because we're not paying you anything, that you will not get the dependency allowance if you were approved for it, nor will you get the $600 stimulus payment for that particular week.
If I work for a school system, if I was a substitute teacher and obviously I can't work right now, will I still be eligible to receive unemployment in the summertime?
Hi, this is Terry. That information currently is under review. Again, you'd want to watch our website for under the frequently asked questions for answers to that.
Do you know at what point I will need to begin to make weekly job search efforts to be deemed eligible?
At this time, the weekly job search efforts has been waived in the state of Connecticut. We understand that that this is a temporary stoppage, and that once the rule is reversed, you'll be notified. It will be up again on the frequently asked questions, but at this time, due to the current situation we're all in, the search for work at this time has been exempt. Our advice is to you is we're not telling you to stop looking for work, but at this time, the requirement for the Department of Labor to file your claims has been removed.
I understand your American Job Centers are closed to the public at this time. When they reopen, if I'm required to go into a job center for a service, but I feel uncomfortable due to the COVID situation, how do you address that issue?
It's a very good question, Sue. We have heard that before. Again, and I know we're saying this a lot, but at this time they are closed, and that our understanding is that once they are opened and you are required to attend an event or a required event at the American Job Centers, and you are uncomfortable, a decision about that will be,
we would have to look at that on a case-by-case basis, but I think that people should know that we won't reopen our doors until we can deem it to be safe to do so, and the governor allows that, and we would be taking any precautions that still needed to be taken to provide social distancing and things like that. But I think that we would have to analyze that concern on a case-by-case basis on whether or not folks would not be required to report to our office for required services.
Are unemployment benefits taxable, and is this extra $600 taxable as well?
That's your Pippi.
Hi,
Yes.
this is Terry. The employers will receive notices of potential liability, so I'm not understanding if it's taxable for employers or are they asking taxables for employee?
Both, please.
Okay. The employers, if they've laid individuals off due to the COVID-19, they will still receive notices of potential liability, which will indicate that they're liable. On the frequently asked questions, if they separated from your company for other than quits, discharges, it's just the COVID-19, you do not have to return this form as long as you're a contributory taxable employer, meaning you pay taxes to the Department of Labor quarterly. There will be no liability or charges to the employers during the period of time that we're under COVID-19.
So I'm an employer and I received a lack of work separation from someone who quit. How do I respond to that? They quit.
They must return that document stating the person voluntarily left their place of employment, indicate the date, and return it to the Middletown office within the 7 days.
I furloughed my employees, but I am going to be calling them back because I received this Payroll Protection Act funding. If the individual does not come back to employment How do I notify the Department of Labor?
This is Terry. I've instructed employers that if they've called back their former employees and they have refused to send the merit rating unit a list of names, social security numbers, dates that they were told to report to work, and if they know the reason, to also state the reason. Send it to our fax. We will then, if the person is still filing for unemployment when they should have returned to work, a hearing will be scheduled to determine whether or not they're eligible based on the reason why they refused to return to work.
Terry, where would I find that address for the merit rating?
The notice of potential liability provides the address and the fax number. I can give you the fax number. You'd want to fax it 860-263-6723.
I have received some offers of employment because they are similar to what I was doing previously. However, I am uneasy at taking these positions currently due to the COVID-19 situation. Are there ramifications for my refusal of this offer?
Well, this is Terry again. Yes, anytime anybody refuses a job offer, there could be a hearing, and they'd have to cover what the offer was, if it was suitable, why it was refused, and then a decision would be made based on the available information.
And to go along with what Terry had just said, the rules of unemployment are still in effect, so that that in cases like this, if somebody does refuse work, we would have to have a hearing on this to see exactly what Terry had said, and then a decision will be made based off of that.
I think that's about the questions that we have, unless any of you have some final comments.
Again, I just want to thank everybody who came on to this call. Hopefully we were able to answer all of your questions. Again, like I had said earlier, we plan to do this again next week with a new topic, review some of what we've talked about this week, and that in the future, if you have any questions, concerning your claim for unemployment benefits, whether you're a claimant or an employer, please visit our website and review our frequently asked questions in the middle of the page, the blue and red box. Please go to filectui.com for additional assistance, and hopefully we can get your question answered there as well.
And this is Terry. Can I just continue on with that? This is updated daily, so I would try to check it at least every other day, daily if you can, because sometimes your questions are answered, and then so we don't have to answer the same question that we do have posted. So if you do have questions, please check there first.
Thank you, Terry. And Sue, I think I think we're all set. I just want to say thank you again to everybody for joining us today, and to our communications department for doing this for us. And we wish everybody please stay healthy and safe. Thank you.